All right, it's 8:15 in the morning, going on 90 some odd degrees outside. I've got the cooler going, you can hear that in the background. And I'm going to start installing the new brakes and front wheel bearings in this bike, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, the bearing is in place. I stuck it in the freezer for about 15-20 minutes, and then all the while I heated up the wheel hub, and then I brought it out here and did a drop in with a very lightweight tap. So it's in. The new sealed bearings are now in both sides. So now I'm going to do the brake shoes. This is another opportunity for things to go really bad. Maybe it'll work out. Maybe it'll be a clean installation. What I do, which is undoubtedly different than what other people do, but it is reasonably successful for me, is I'll put a little, I keep grease in these little guys. I'll put a little grease on the pivot point. And I'll put a little grease on the contact pad of each shoe. Okay. Now, what I have here is a screwdriver that I've modified into a special tool. And let's see if you can see it. I'll try to get a close-up and not too fuzzy. Okay, that's it. There we go. Got that in focus? Yeah. I've dished out one side and smoothed out the other side so it's very smooth. And I use this to slide springs, brake springs on. It's quite successful. And let's see how successful I am now while the whole world's watching. Little grease on the back side. Okay, now. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to put, I don't know how to do this so you can see what I'm doing. You still see that? I'll try to work off to the side. This, like this. Pull it out. And it slides on. Wow, that was successful. Wow, how weird. Let's do that again. Give it another opportunity to embarrass me. There we go. Okay, so now that's on. Let's put the little washers on top. And the little clips on top of the washers. Holding them carefully, because if they slip, they'll go to Tucson. Okay. That's what we call a successful brake shoe installation. And the brake fits with this facing forward. This gets pulled up here towards that. And we're done. Now the question I have to ask myself is, did I lubricate these? I don't remember. I meant to. Huh. Well, at least I will put some oil in there. Well, believe it or not, I have one of those fancy dancy oil injector thingies that you put on here and push down. And if I could find it, I'd use it. But I don't know where it is. I put it someplace safe. I have no idea. Wherever it is, it's really safe. Well, I'll show it to you next time I stumble across it. And I will. so tired of this. Well, in lieu of that, I'm going to take the whole thing apart and grease these shafts. So I'll be back eventually. Well, I took it all apart, and I had, in fact, lubricated those pivots when I took the wheel out and cleaned it all up. So put it back together, and it's ready to go into the wheel and onto the bike. Okay, the wheel bearings are installed, the brakes are installed, the brake assembly is sitting in the wheel. All I have to do is put that back on the bike. There's nothing really to this. The only thing you have to remember is to put the little spacer on the right hand side before you push it all the way in between the forks. And otherwise you won't be able to get it in between the wheel and the fork if you put the wheel all the way into the fork. And it sort of makes sense. Anyway, we'll do this. See how it goes. This guy has to go in here before you put this wheel all the way in. Now, so all you have to do is line up the wheel, line up the anti-torque notch, line up everything in its brother, get it all lined up in here. Like so, roughly. Start to let the bike down a little bit. Don't put your hands in here to hold the wheel when you're lowering the bike. I did that once. The jack got away from me. It came slamming down on my hand and pinned me, and it hurt. So keep your fingers out here while you lower the wheel slowly down. Very slowly down. And trying to catch the anti-torque here. Now this guy has to go on now. Like so. And try to get this anti-torque fitting into the slot. Very slowly. Okay, things are going well. Just a little. We'll check a file. Pressure off. Oh, come on now. All right, just hooking up the brake cable now. Putting the adjuster in all the way. All the way. Make life easier to install it. And then we'll adjust it. And we get it installed. Okay, now that's a starting point. I'll bring the camera over. All right, this front brake is a really, really good front brake. It's called a twin leading shoe or a dual leading shoe, depending on your preference. It's a really good brake. It has two shoes in there and they operate independently, but they have to operate exactly the same. Otherwise, one shoe will do all the work, the other shoe will just be sitting around watching the other shoe do all the work, and you will have a single leading shoe brake. So in order to get them synchronized so that they're exactly the same, here's a technique, and we'll talk about that technique now. So let's see, first of all, I'm going to disconnect this bar by undoing the clip up here and taking out the pin. Which is really, really easy except when you do it on video. Put it back here so I can remember where it is. No, I won't. Okay. And take out the pin. I could take out both pins, but there's no real advantage. Now I need to lock this brake on all the way, so I'm going to get a bungee cord to lock it on all the way. Stand by. All right, so now all I have to do is come up with some way of hooking this. I don't like that. There we go. So that's locked up all the way. Now, what we do, since that one's activated all the way, we use this to activate this one all the way. Like so, okay? Now we put this bar on and look at the, I'll bring the camera over here and show you how far out of adjustment this is. Here we go, you're gonna travel for a minute. So with this one fully engaged and this one fully engaged, let's see, can you see how far out of adjustment that is? That should be right in the hole, and it's not. So I'm going to tighten up this adjuster and show you what the results are. Is this end turning? Okay, darn, that's left-handed. That's left-handed. How about that? Let's just adjust it up there. I was going to adjust it down here. Okay, that's just about perfect. Let me go ahead and tighten this lock nut up down here. It lines up perfectly now. I'm going to put the pin back in it. Okay, so now we have both shoes operating at the same time. So you'll have full braking on this front brake. Okay, time to put some clips back on. Let's see. That one needs a clip. Okay. Okay. That's got a real good feel. And it's got a good handle up here. All right. I think we're done. Okay, the bearings are in, the brakes are in, the brake feels good, the bike is ready for a road test. Not until it gets cooler or Kevin comes back. So that's where we are.